wearing the festive cleats for Christmas Day, and those feet were working. Kamara, 40 yards for a touchdown. Saints take a 7-0 lead. They didn't even have a third down in the first quarter. The offense was clicking. Dalvin Cook responded with a touchdown. Saints get it back. Guess who? Kamara. 2 in the first quarter. Saints up 14-7. 42 seconds left in the second quarter. Saints second and goal. Kamara. 5-yard touchdown. The Vikings banged up at linebacker, missing their leading tackler, Eric Kendricks, among others. Kamara, 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Second time in his career. 24-14 Saints at the half. Third quarter, Kamara, 17-yard gain. Saints had 21 rushing first downs. That's an NFL record. Next play, Kamara in again for a touchdown, his 4th of the game. First player with 4 touchdowns on a Christmas Day game. Saints go up 31-20. He carried it 22 times in the game in all. Let's go fourth quarter. First and goal for the Saints. They're up 31-27. Kamara, some great blocking in front. Teron Armstead just flattened his man in the end zone. First player with 5 rushing touchdowns in a game since Clinton Portis in 2003. Saints piled up 583 yards in the game, the most the Vikings have ever allowed. They're up 38-27. Later in the fourth, Saints with first and goal. Kamara, not going to get there this time. Doesn't score, goes to the sideline. So 2 plays later, third and goal with Kamara on the sideline. Taysom Hill is going to get it done. You got to secure the win first before you worry about any personal records. Kamara said it's not a big deal for him. 7 rushing touchdowns for the Saints in all, most the Vikings have ever allowed. After the Vikings score, Saints get the ball back up 45-33, trying to put it away. Drew Brees threw for 311 yards. Adam Troutman for 41. Saints going to give Kamara the chance to get number 6.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, this might be my chance. Sean was like, go. So, I just told the O-line, I was like, get me in there, let's get it.
They got it. Next play, first and goal. Kamara going in for number 6 to tie an NFL record. He takes over the NFL lead, and he's got 21 total touchdowns this season. That's a Saints record. Career high 155 rushing yards to go with the 6 touchdowns. The Saints win it 52-33, eliminating the Vikings from playoff contention. Maybe you should wear those every week.
Yeah, they're probably gonna find me. If they find me, whatever it is, I'll just match it and donate it to charity. The Grinch always try to steal Christmas.
Would you classify what happened today and what's happened this season as a bad defense?
Yeah, this is a bad defense. Worst one I've ever had.
Wow. Kamara tied Ernie Nevers' NFL record for most rushing touchdowns in a single game. That record had stood since 1929. It was tied for the longest-standing individual record in NFL history. Now the longest-standing individual record that has not been broken or tied is most points scored in a game. That's held by Nevers after he scored 40 points in that same game. Let's welcome in Rob Ninkovich now for more. Rob, Alvin Kamara had a nose for the end zone for the whole game. 6 touchdowns to tie an NFL record. What was most impressive to you about his performance?
Well, 155 yards on the ground, that's pretty dang impressive. So I think in this game, you saw a little bit more on the ground Kamara running the football from the backfield. If you look at the previous games this season, he gets about 15 to 17 touches. Some of those coming mostly in the backfield, but catch and run out of the backfield. So in this game, you saw a little bit more back at home and handing the ball off, and the offensive line doing a great job creating holes. And Kamara just doesn't always seem to be trying very hard, but always gaining a lot of yards. So if they expect to have any sort of Super Bowl aspirations, he's going to have a big impact.
After the disappointment of the last few years for the Saints, it's really a sense of urgency there for them to get the job done and win another Super Bowl with Sean Payton and Brees. What else do you see that has to be there for them to do that?
They got to continue to be great on defense. Look, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you have to be able to get after the quarterback, which they did against the Vikings. I think we saw in the last couple of games where they let a few games slip there. The time on the clock is ticking, and they don't have much left. Drew Brees, I suspect that after this year, he'll probably evaluate where he's at and maybe right off into the sunset. For him and Sean Payton to go out and to win a Super Bowl, they're going to have to rely on that defense to come up with some big-time sacks like they've been doing. They have a lot of guys up front that get after the quarterback, but they have to do it when it's all a one-game season. Once you get into the tournament, that's what it is. It's just a one-game season, and you got to go out there and perform. And if you look at the history of the Saints in the last few, they've learned some really tough lessons on that one-game season because they were close, but they couldn't get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, as a Saints fan, don't remind me.
They should have thrown the flag. It should have been a Patriot Saints Super Bowl. Come on.
Don't get me started, Rob. Don't get me started. Still one more game to go, though. They got Carolina to close out the regular season. Rob, great having you with us. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas.
It was a Christmas spectacular of NBA games on ESPN and ABC. We start with Luka Doncic, who grew up idolizing LeBron James, of course. Big matchup for these two. Woohoo! And how about Anthony Davis having fun with Montrezl Harrell's Christmas shoes pregame? James finding Davis early and often. Davis with the finish, 28 points for AD. Later in the first, James in transition again finds Davis once again. Easy bucket. With James's third assist, he joined the Big O. Oscar Robertson is the only players with 100 career assists on Christmas Day. The two were not done. James and Davis had it going on throughout the first half. The dynamic duo combining for 32 points on 12 of 18 shooting from the floor, showcasing their dominance early against Dallas. Less than a minute left in the second. Doncic guarding James. James, too much, hitting that tough J over Luka. 22.7 boards, 10 assists for James. Look at that great shot. James scored or assisted on 31 of the 54 points the Lakers scored with him on the floor. Dennis Schroeder gets it to Kyle Kuzma, who drains the three. The Lakers hit 9 threes in the first half. They had 9 total threes in that season-opening loss. Third quarter, after putting up 11 in the first half, Doncic would put up 12 points in the third. 9 and 19 from the field for the game, 27 points, 7 assists. Just wouldn't be enough, though. Later in the third, Lakers up 14. James doing a little dancing on Doncic. Oh, that's not fair. Expanding the lead. But what about Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, the new additions on the Lakers, right? Off-season pickups. How would they perform? Well, Schroeder finished with 18 points, 7-11 from the field, 6 assists. And Harrell, 22 points, 10 of 13 from the field, 7 boards. Both those guys helped the Lakers to a 14-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Lakers were on the glass heavy all throughout this game. Markieff Morris, he'll miss the three, tip it out to Harrell. Kuzma and Harrell work the pick and roll. Kuzma is going to dump it off to Harrell, and he's going to finish inside eventually. And the Lakers go up 101-87. James here misses a three. Morris will keep it alive to Kuzma. Kuzma will find James, and then James would find Morris at the corner for three. Morris, 9.7 boards. Second chance points would hurt the Mavs, obviously, in this one, as the Lakers would outscore the Mavs 35-0 in second chance points. Wow. 138-115, the final. All Lakers in this one. Here's Anthony Davis after the big win.
The more and more, we get to play with each other, the more we're going to figure things out. But, we went to the film and realized that, we can be a lot better. And we pride ourselves on not losing 2 in a row. We did the same thing last year. We never want to lose 2 games in a row, so we know we're going to come out and get this game. And come out with a lot of energy and effort.
We know what our identity is. Our team know what our identity is. And, the ball is going to be in me and AD's hand for the majority of the time. But we have the ability to be able to defer, to Dennis. And he can run the offense, be able to defer and get the ball to Trez in the low post, and he do his thing. Be able to get the ball to Kuz in his sweet spots as well. So we know who we are, and we want to continue to build off that.
LeBron James continuing to etch his name in the NBA history books, especially on Christmas Day. Friday was his 10th win on the 25th of December, tying his buddy Dwayne Wade for most all time. LeBron's 25 made threes on Christmas, tied with KD for most all time. And his 4 games with 10 assists, fewer only than Oscar Robertson's 8. If you think we are done talking about LeBron James, then you don't know SportsCenter. Later in the show, it's a Christmas miracle. Santa Perk is back, and he's talking about the